Hey guys, it's me Lachlan. I'm here today with a brand new Battlefield 4 video, and today I'm here with a new discussion topic on the Frostbite engine, more specifically the future of the Frostbite engine. The engine which of course runs Battlefield 4, Battlefield 3 and Bad Company 2 among various other DICE titles. And today we're going to be discussing the future of it, how it's changing, how it has changed, how it's shifting, and what it can do to make games that are currently pretty much amazing, which we can agree with, even better, and make them even more complex, and make a game such as Battlefield 5 or Bad Company 3 one of the best shooters ever made. Now, more specifically, we're going to have to look at the past of the Frostbite engine in order to make an analysis of what the future may hold for us, or what it should hold for us. Now, I like to make a quick statement. I call it the three-stage process. It's something which isn't used by many people, and it's the progression that we've seen in the Frostbite engine from Bad Company 2 to Battlefield 4, and what changes have been made, how things have been fine-tuned in however ways they like to do it, and how some things have actually regressed in order to make way for other features. Now, I'm going to kick it off with Bad Company 2, and Bad Company 2 was one of the first steps in the Frostbite engine, and one of the amazing things that that title did was captivate the sort of breathtaking environments that we don't really see in online multiplayer. It was a real push forward in the first-person shooter world. We often only saw that kind of beauty and that kind of complexity on single-player scripted events, which was why the Frostbite engine was so unique. We had, although a very small amount of buildings to play with, they were incredibly destructible. In fact, you could pretty much level an entire map. But what was really special to most fans, including myself, was some of the amazing environments that we played in. Valparaiso Jungle, Cold War, you name it. Some of the best maps were made in Bad Company 2, and some of the best environments. We saw nighttime environments, rain environments, snow environments, jungle environments, all coupled into this one title, and those specific environments happened to be some of the most favoured ones amongst fans. And then Battlefield 3 arrived, and this is where we saw the Frostbite engine fine-tuned, where some elements of the actual engine itself were regressed, and some of the engine's elements were actually increased to make a much more wholesome and well-balanced game. We weren't just playing in open environments with a lack of buildings or complex cities. We started seeing, more towns. We started seeing more cityscapes enter the game. We saw a complexity of buildings and cities and structures start to pop up inside our maps, but at the same time, we lost some of that captivating environment that we played in inside Bad Company 2, and we also lost a lot of destructibility from the game. We lost building destructibility, you couldn't level an entire map anymore, and these things changed because of what the engine was capable of, and because of what modern hardware at the time was capable of. And I'm sure if you could level an entire map on Frostbite 3, chances are you would need an incredibly powerful system to manage something that complex and something of that scale and authenticity and uniqueness that the Frostbite engine has to offer. So with the benefits that came with introducing more complex maps and making incredible game modes and making incredible maps as a whole and great things to play in, and Battlefield 3 overall was a very enjoyable game, we had to lose, or should we say fine-tune, a lot of what we really enjoyed about the previous title. Now, of course, you don't want every title to be the same as the previous one before it, but you'd imagine that certain elements of the game were kept. Unfortunately for Bad Company's 2 case, we kept a lot of the guns, we kept a lot of the vehicles, but at the same time, we lost probably one of the game's main features, one of its showcase things. And then we moved on to Battlefield 4, and unfortunately this is where I felt as though the Frostbite engine had gone into a almost complete regression. Because whether or not you like this statement, or whether or not you agree with me, unfortunately Levolution is just a scripted event. It has no actual random occurrences, no destructibility about it. Sure, we can chip away a wall or destroy a wall or something like that, but the main Levolution, the big Levolution, the skyscrapers coming down, all the crazy stuff, the mudslides, that is a scripted event waiting for a trigger to happen. And because that exists, and because it takes up so much of the core elements of Battlefield 4, the massive Levolution being so big in the game and such a prior concern, it's regressed pretty much most of the other elements that we've seen, which is why Battlefield 4 as a whole is considered somewhat less unique. It's why Battlefield Bad Company 2 is so much more appreciated now for the environments and scale that it had. There is little to none destructibility in Battlefield 4. Sure, we can take down a skyscraper, but we can't level an entire map. And it would be silly to try and say that the Frostbite engine should be capable of leveling an entire map or leveling every skyscraper on the game, because that just isn't possible with the game engines that we have now. The technology just isn't there as of yet, and the systems, even the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, would definitely not be able to handle something of that size and scalability. So figuratively speaking, we're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. We're in a zone where real progression and, not fine-tuning anything would be completely incomprehensible for technology to withstand or even compute or even attempt to do. There's no way we'd be able to have a full-blown flattened Siege of Shanghai, but we also at the same time do want to regress some of the core elements of Battlefield that made it unique and made it such an intelligent and such a unique title as a whole. So what would I say we should do for Battlefield 5 or Bad Company 3, the brand new Frostbite 4 engine? Now, we know the developers are incredible with their work. They really are. Love them or hate them for some of the stuff we see in Battlefield 4, the engine that is Frostbite is an immaculate engine. Very complex, very difficult, and what they've done with it is completely insane. Now, for Frostbite 4, I would like to see an element of mixture. A mixture between Battlefield 3 and Bad Company 2, the elements that we saw in those games. Because the engine will be upgraded, because it can handle more now, we should take that incredible breathtaking scenery from Bad Company 2 and then toss it in to the complexity and design of Battlefield 3. Now, Battlefield 3 wasn't too over the top. There were some buildings, but there weren't loads and loads and loads of buildings. Battlefield 4, however, has lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of buildings with somewhat of an environment mixture in it. So if we scale back the buildings a little bit more, make them destructible, and add in that element of authenticity with the environments, I feel as though we've got a perfect mixture, a mixture which works, it's fine-tuned well, and it shouldn't damage technology or excessively be too difficult for it to handle. And one of the main key features I want to see in Frostbite 4 is the element of environment really amplified and really used, because environments in Battlefield are something which players find really core and a critical component to the game. The top 4, which I listed through Twitter, were rainy environments, nighttime environments, snow environments, and jungle environments, and all of those have great examples in Battlefield 3 and Bad Company 2. In fact, I want to see Frostbite 4 implement an engine from PGA Tour, a golf game. And this sounds ridiculous, but hear me out. Now, PGA Tour has a system where it actually takes the real-time weather of the location where the hole is being played or where the course is being played and implements it into the game. Snow, rain, sunshine, you name it, it's got the weather. And it will throw it into the game, but it will keep the time of day at the same time for everybody to make sure it's even and to make sure we're all on a level playing field. Somebody isn't playing at night whilst you're playing in the middle of the morning. And it's a very incredible system. I really like this system. It creates a level playing field and at the same time can change an entire map. So it's like having 5 different subsections of a single map, or 7 or 8, depending on the kind of environment that you're being tossed into, and is really something which is incredibly dynamic. So we saw PGA Tour at Power Cell Storm. Why not have a little bit of PGA Tour in pretty much every map in the next Battlefield title? That would be pretty awesome. So guys, it's been me, Lachlan, and before you go, I want to point your attention to my hub channel. I actually work with my network, TGN, on a brand new hub channel called the TGN Army, a community-based channel where you guys can have real influence and real impact in the gaming community. And I've actually launched one of a few exclusive series on there called The Gamer's Voice, which lets us discuss a topic together in depth. And in the comment section, you guys can have an opportunity to make a real mark on some of our videos and make your voice be heard to some of the biggest game developers and some of the biggest YouTubers around who watch our videos on TGN. So make sure you check that out. It's been me. I will see you again in another Battlefield or potentially shooter, some kind of thing that kills people game. And that shouldn't be too long from now, so I'll catch you again in another video.